everybody, and welcome back. I'm going to be reading The Drop of Water. The story is by Hans Christian Andersen. To remind you if you watched my video yesterday. Okay, let's start. The Drop of Water. Once there was an old man called Cribble Crabble. He was a curious sort of person and liked doing scientific experiments to find out things. But he enjoyed dabbling in magic too. His home was filled with strange equipment: small glass, tubes, wooden mixing bowls, iron cauldrons. Although his most prized possession was his microscope. You know what a microscope is? A little tube that you look through to see tiny things made thousands of times bigger. Through a microscope, you can see all sorts of things quite clearly that don't seem to be there at all. If you just look with your eyes. Cribble Crabble was always so amazed by his microscope that he could never decide whether it was scientific equipment or whether there was something magic about it after all. One day, Cribble Crabble was walking when he came across a muddy puddle. This gave him an idea. He scooped a little of the water into a flask and took it home with him. There, he carefully put one drop of the water into a thin silver of glass. He fixed the glass slide at the bottom of the microscope. Then Cribble Crabble shut one eye and with the other open eye looked through the top of the end of the microscope.
How did they do that?
Well, you have to close an eye and with the other, just look through it.
Okay.
What a sight he saw! What had seemed to be first to be just a drop of dirty water was actually filled with teeny tiny creepy crawly creatures. Wow, y'all see. Those are both T's. Oh. The little insect-like things wriggled and squirmed and crawled all over each other. It even looked through as though some of them were fighting. What a shame those little creatures don't like each other, said Cribble Crabble. There must be some way to get them to live in peace and all be friends. The old man thought and thought for a long while, but he couldn't find a scientific answer. So instead, he decided to use magic. The first thing I should do is give them some color, Cribble Crabble said to himself, for then I'll be able to see them even more clearer. He looked along his sleeve, which was crammed with jars of bottled strange ingredients, and took down a tiny tube of witch's blood. It was very dark purple, like a blueberry juice. He just let one drop fall into the glass slide. Then he looked back down through the microscope. Now the little creatures were purpley pink all over. The drop of water looked like tubes of wild, brightly colored beans. Cribble Crabble was concentrating so hard on the little creatures, he did not hear the next door neighbor come in. What have you got there? Asked the neighbor, who was also a magician. See if you can guess, replied Cribble Crabble mysteriously. So the second magician peered down through the microscope. He almost jumped back in alarm as he saw all the tiny beings being kicked, punching, and struggling to climb on the top of one another. Oh my goodness, it's a tiny city, gasped the second magician. You've conjured up a tiny city full of strange, angry creatures. No, cried Cribble impatiently. It's a drop of muddy water. The second magician thought hard, but he could not decide whether the microscope was science or magic either. What do you think? The end. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your favorite bit. Bye!